Tear down the walls. The smell of pencil shavings and disinfectant drifted through the hallway, as though someone was trying to keep the place clean in spite of a world that never has been. The loudspeaker chimed, and a voice announced that standardized testing would begin the next day, that students should get plenty of sleep and eat a good breakfast so that they could do their very best, because a strong performance would benefit their future. But my mind distorted the message as I was distracted by staff meeting reminders from earlier in the week. Test scores determine funding. Funding determines success. Success determines everything. The next morning, I avoided eye contact with everyone, hoping it'd hide my frustration. And I wondered when American education became a race run in circles, like some NASCAR spectacle, where losers fall behind, crash, and burn, and those lucky enough to complete all 500 miles only end up where they started. More passages to read, more problems to solve, more bubbles to fill in, more prayers to the sky that somehow all of this will matter, because it seems as though some know that they won't have the power to make it happen for themselves. The kids filed into the testing room. No makeup could hide the dark circles under their eyes, and no Red Bulls or large coffees could free them from the anxiety weighing them down. They mumbled about grades, GPAs, and test scores like stock prices. I was at a 93 last week. What happened? I bombed that damn quiz. If I can't bring that grade up a point, my 4.0 is toast. My parents will kill me. Well, bye-bye tuition. What am I going to do? Flip burgers? I felt like screaming. I desperately wanted to tell them that you can build a happy life tending to a grill or styling hair if that's your passion. That knowing how to listen, to question what you hear, and learning to see the world beyond your own reflection is worth more than any A. But I didn't have the time, and this certainly wasn't the place. We encourage students to chase arbitrary letters and averages, as though these things quantify their worth, to hunt for approval from authority, like corporate brown-nosers, hoping to stand out in a crowd of other obnoxious ass-kissers, to memorize what's already known instead of searching for ways to make things better for themselves, for everybody. We call them lifelong learners, if they can do all of that well enough. But should we? We assess their minds with metrics that only measure one kind of intelligence. Perhaps they can tell you how to solve problems in a math textbook with the quadratic formula, or how to punctuate a sentence accurately, but not the names of the kids who clean the cafeteria because they just want to help, not for extra credit. And maybe they can write an essay about America's manifest destiny, but will they ever ponder who paid the cost of that dream? We assess success on how prepared students are for careers and if they get to graduation. We celebrate them in their caps and gowns, act like the diplomas in their hands are some kind of golden ticket to ride to the land of hope and dreams, and pretend we aren't sending sheep to the wolves, into the real world that doesn't care that you were on the honor roll, what your class rank was, how many clubs you joined, how many sports you played. It's no wonder strong character is also no longer a concern in a nation where education prioritizes learning how to get good paychecks over how to be good people. Knowledge may be the great equalizer, but we need to do better in helping folks understand that this means not everyone gets a fair shake at the start, that some kids come to school too hungry to solve for X, that some suffer from mental and physical conditions that many characterize but do not understand, that some weren't raised in a nuclear family or even have a house to live in, that some can't find time to study because they're too busy trying to break the news to their parents that they love someone who their dad will never accept and their mom doesn't understand. That some can't focus because they are unable to stop thinking about how they were made the subject of a racist joke on the bus, how they were told that boys don't cry even after an exceptionally hard day, or how they were embarrassed in front of their peers by a teacher because their skirts were a little too short, and that all of these things can lead even the best and brightest to fall short of expectations. We lecture that all of the hard work will level the playing field. But if we're not teaching humanity, that other people matter as much as personal performance, it's no wonder that we lift up the A student, even if they don't need to pay attention in class since they were blessed with big ability and private tutoring funded by their parents' even bigger bank account, over the C student who worked their ass off for it without family or financial support and still managed to help their friend through the loss of a loved one, or the time when they had to fight to find a reason just to keep going. When only one of them gets the opportunity, the praise, the recognition, when young minds realize that empathy doesn't help your grade point average in the same way that privilege does, it's no wonder these days that selfishness trumps selflessness, that individual desires trump community needs. One day, I hope we will tear down the walls that enclose the space where we use rubrics and resumes to evaluate someone's worth, where we teach that the power of a polished smile is greater than that of an honest heart. To dream big, as long as it's conducive to a profitable business plan, that total points matter more than potential and intangibles, and that the American spirit is about competition, not cooperation. Then, from the rubble, I hope we construct a sanctuary with tables instead of desks, where kids collaborate to create a better world that we all deserve, where names have greater value than numbers, where all are seen and respected despite their differences, where failure isn't punished or ignored, but studied, understood, where profits aren't the only indicator of accomplishment, where lending a hand to help others keep from falling behind is honored more than a gold medal, where they work towards finally achieving the American ideal. A place where all voices are heard, where everyone truly gets to dance, where we understand that no one wins unless we all win. A place to stand together.